How to find beat making inspiration when you're stuck. It's your guy Brahma, and in this video I'm going to give you all the gems and wisdom you need to get out of beat block forever and never have to experience it again. I promise you, if you follow the steps in this video, you'll never have to worry about feeling beat block or not having ideas and creative energy flowing. Okay, so make sure you watch it all the way through, because I'm going to give you everything that you need in order to move past this stage. And if you do happen to run into it again, you'll know exactly what to do to snap out of it. We try to sit at the keyboard and we're trying to force ideas to come through, and they're just not clicking, right? They're just not happening. No matter what you do, no matter what sound you bring up, no matter what new sample you bring up, you're just not able to flip it. And if you do get it started, you don't know how to finish it, right? So the problem is that you're waiting for inspiration when you should be creating inspiration. It's no different than opportunities. If you're waiting for opportunities, you're wasting time. You have to start creating opportunities, and then more opportunities will come up open to you. So it's the same thing with inspiration. If you create the inspiration, more inspiration is going to come because you've opened up your channel to start drawing inspiration in. But when you're closed to any idea that's trying to get to you. And you're closed by either following the same patterns that you've been doing, using the same key that you've been playing, making your beats in, because there's nothing there for you anymore. You're doing the same thing over and over again, and you're running yourself into a loop, literally. But you have to break out of that loop to open up that channel again and start learning again. So that's the thing too. As music producers, we get to a point where we only use what we currently know, and we don't open ourselves up to new knowledge, right? We'll use the same ideas that got us to make this type of beat, and we'll just keep using it over and over again. Same thing with sounds. You keep using the same sounds over and over again. You're not getting new sounds into your repertoire. You're not loading up your arsenal with new sounds all the time. So you remain stagnant. But you have to create the energy. And so a large part of creating the energy, though, is movement, right? Create a morning routine. Some of us, not me, I left my 9 to 5, but I know you probably are still working a 9 to 5. So the first thing you do in the morning is get dressed and go give that job your energy, right? But what if you got up before your job and started working out, or at least at minimum go on a walk? I walk every day for 5 days out of the week, sometimes 6. The point is, I do this to create energy for my day. I feel so inspired and so motivated by the time I get back, because I've literally walked and charged up my energy for the day. Some people think working out takes energy from you, but it really multiplies the energy that you put into it. Life is that way. Music could do the same thing, but you have to open yourself up and allow it to do that, right? So go on a walk, go create the energy, find a way to create the energy before you go give it somewhere else. Sometimes you don't even create the energy, and you just wake up with the factory setting energy that you have for the day, and you go give that to your job. You deal with the bullshit customers, your supervisor riding your tail, the annoying coworkers, right? And then you start thinking about your problems, so you're giving that the energy, but you haven't even given the energy to yourself. When you get up and you go on that walk throughout the day or in the morning, even if you wait till after work, but I say do it first thing in the morning, so that way you give yourself that energy first, because you deserve it. You can't pour into anything else unless you pour into your cup first. Then you could spread it and pour that cup into others. But if you haven't poured your cup first, you have no energy to draw from. So by the time you get off work, you're already drained and you're feeling tired. That's because you haven't created the energy. You're using the normal energy that you already have throughout the day, that you're giving, right, throughout the day to work with what you have. But you have to find ways to create it. You could even use music to create the energy, but it becomes a paradox if you're trying to find the energy to pour into the music because you got beat block. So you have to go to an outside source. When you walk too, especially if you go on an outside walk, you're going to have life all around you. And if you open up to your environment and you get in the present moment, you're going to hear the birds chirping, you're going to hear the bees singing, you're going to feel the breeze, right? You're going to hear the wind whistling in your ears. That's all music. So you could take that, right? Life is music. It's all around you all the time. You just have to open your eyes and your ears to it and allow it to flow through you. So that way you have the energy to bring and take that energy and morph it, transform it into the music that you're making, right? It's all energy at the end of the day. So create the energy. That's the key word for today. That's the moral of the story. That's the principle. Don't wait for it. Don't try to chase it. When you chase inspiration, you're forcing it. Don't chase it. Create it. Find a way to create it. Even if it's another art form. Some people like drawing. Some people like painting. Do that for a while, right? Transform the energy. It's all creative energy. And that's where depression happens too. Depression is, from my definition, is the lack of expression, right? You got all this creative energy that you haven't been expressing. It becomes depressed, right? It becomes compressed, and then you become depressed because it's remaining dormant and stagnant in your system. So of course you're going to be feeling low or not able to create because you haven't put yourself in that frequency. You have to create the energy by putting yourself in that frequency of creation. You have to. That's the only way you're going to be able to draw inspiration or motivation from anywhere. And once you do that, it's everywhere around you. I could literally make a beat out of the sounds that are around me. I can start recording myself beating on the wall and make a beat out of that, right? I could go and get a box of macaroni out the kitchen and start shaking it into the microphone and cutting that up into different sounds to use in my beat, right? It's all about being creative, but you can't be creative if you're not creating the energy to put you in the space of creativity. You have to awaken your inner beast. That's what you got to do. So I hope this message reaches you and shows you exactly what you need to do. Don't wait for it. Don't wait for opportunities. Don't wait for inspiration. Don't wait for motivation. Create motivation, create inspiration, create opportunities. You are a creator. You were born to create. You were made to create. That's what it's really about, man. Tapping into that inner creator in you and being creative with what you're doing. Like I said, when you're making beats and you're just making beats to make beats, you're not, it's like you're on autopilot. But when you go in and you say, okay, I want to make a certain type of beat, when you come to it with intention, that's automatically going to cause you to be creative because now you're trying to figure out a way to do a certain thing. You have a goal in mind, right? And when you have a goal in mind, you're moving towards something. So it's the same way. So if I say, okay, to make this beat, I have to create a certain sound, or I have to use creative sounds that I wouldn't normally use and create something out of them, that's going to draw another form of creativity from you. Just like using a different DAW. If you use a different DAW than you would normally use, it's going to cause your brain to work in a different way and have to think differently, which is going to create a whole nother energy because it's forcing you to be creative. It's forcing you to figure things out. You have to reconfigure how you see something, right? If I went from using logic today, or case in point, when I went from using reason to logic, it actually helped me redefine my sound. And I paused for a moment because I thought about the parables, the analogy in that reason and logic, right? When you're using reason or you're using logic, just like when you're using emotion or you're using your intelligence, these are different creative forms. You have to tap in to your reasoning, right? Because sometimes we try to create from a space of logic, overthinking, right? Oh, logically, this clap should be right here. This snare should be right here. If I'm making a trap beat, logically, the hi-hat should be doing it. Nah, funk all that. Think with your reasoning or even your emotional feeling aspect of yourself. I feel this should be this way. I feel like, you know what? I don't feel like I want to put the snare right on the one. I feel like I want to put it right before or after the one just to give it a different kind of pocket, right? Just because I feel that way. It feels good to me doing this. I'm going to put the hi-hats a little off, right? Off the grid a little bit because they feel a certain way, right? And when you start creating from that space, you have got yourself out of the box. You have put yourself into a whole new energy field where you're like a child again. Remember when you made your first beat, right? You probably were doing it from a very childlike nature, a very innocent, very creative nature. You have to tap back into that. That's never left you. It's really just about finding ways to get back to it, because the stress of the day, the stress of the 9 to 5, the responsibilities, all of these negative thoughts, the self-doubt, all those things are tapping your energy. And so you have to blank them out. You have to tell them, hey, shut up. I'm not listening. I'm tapping into my creative source, because you can create a way out of any problem as long as you're able to tap back into your creative mind. When you're being creative, you can do it from a space of logic or emotion. Sometimes you can blend them together. But when you're doing music, like I said, you want to go into your feeling state, because that's what literally starts changing your vibration. Thoughts follow that. Your thoughts are going to follow your feelings in that way. Sometimes we let our feelings follow our thoughts. We think of something that happened to us back in the day and we start to feel a certain way about it. No. Why not change that? You know what? I feel like I want to feel happy today. Then you're going to tap into another channel of energy and you're going to start having positive thoughts, right? Anyway, I know I dropped a lot. I know I spoke a lot. I just wanted to make sure I gave you the message that came to me today, which at the end of the day, out of everything I said, is create the energy. Don't wait for the energy to find you, because once you start creating it, everything that you need is going to start flowing to you and coming towards you. Also, make sure you watch this video right here where I show you how I make a Dre type beat. This is something that's going to help you draw inspiration and motivation, because I did this video for that specific purpose, to inspire and motivate you. Okay, so if you're feeling stuck, this video will help you just by seeing how I break everything down.